And it says we should be going live or live soon. Let's find out. Says we are live.
Yes, we are.
Yep, awesome. All right, hello everyone. Ace here. Welcome to the live stream. And today I am joined with Nathan X2000.
Hello. Thank you for having me on again.
Thank you for being on again as well. And today we are back with Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser Halcyon Legacy. The canonical story of the hotel that costs $6,000 for a family of 4 to spend 2 nights in. Yay! Anyways, so for those of you who don't know, of course, the Halcyon Legacy story, they've been going through the runs, so it started off in the High Republic era, but we've now officially, with this one it seems, moved on to the prequel era.
So, wait, hang on. Did I just hear you right? How much is it for a night for a family of 4 to spend?
I think it was $6,000 for a family of 4 for 2 nights.
Fuck off.
Oh yes, and
6,000. I'm fucking fact checking this.
I believe that's what it was. Let me double check as well.
I believe you. There's no way they can be charging that much for a hotel. I mean, Disney, Florida is already massively expensive for anybody living in Europe. You have to then get the flights over, book the hotels, get travel to and from the place.
Mm-hmm.
2 nights in an immersive adventure. Ooh. Things to do. Parks and tickets. Now open.
The idea is that the hotel is supposed to be a roleplay experience, but...
So you are literally paying $6,000 for your entire family to LARP as people in the Star Wars universe?
Yep.
That's retarded.
Oh,
Why?
wait until you hear about some of the other stuff that they have. From what I've heard, there was a guy that actually did decide to spend the money to go there, and the stuff that he said... For a start, you'd think for that price it would be a premium experience. Like, everything would be perfect, right?
Yeah.
No. You basically get... From what I understand, they cheaped out, so the rooms are small and cramped.
I've heard that one at least.
Another thing is that the food is basically cafeteria food for the standard stuff, but if you want the decent food, it's basically... You have to pay extra money.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, I did fact check, and 4 guests per cabin, or 3 adults, 1 child, is $749 per guest per night, or $5,999 voyage total. So yes, $6,000.
Oh. So for that amount of money, you get to spend it with a bunch of other people in cramped rooms with subpar food.
Yes. Oh, but wait, there's more.
Isn't it a plane trip to Africa cheaper?
Oh yeah.
And it's a lot more of a real experience.
Oh yeah. Not only that, you could go on a cruise ship for that price. Easy. Yeah. You could do tons of things significantly cheaper and have a better time. There's other stuff.
That's not a hotel experience. That's a fucking UN relief effort.
Yeah, it's the Fry Festival of Star Wars hotels.
Oh no.
Alfari says, "Don't ask questions, just consume product. Relive your favorite Star Wars moments." Master Skywalker, what are we going to do? Yeah, about that. Relive your favorite Star Wars moments if those Star Wars moments were set in the sequel trilogy specifically. So the current hotel is set in the sequel trilogy. Just to keep that in mind. So
Oh
you're
no,
not,
because God forbid they base it in the prequels, where actual interesting stuff happened.
or the original trilogy.
Yeah, true, true.
At least it's not High Republic. Although again,
No.
this they decided to tie this thing to High Republic anyways by making it be created in the High Republic era.
Every
Um,
single dollar of those 6,000 would be absolutely worth it if I got to go to the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon and there's a big fucking rock with a lightsaber and they go, "This is Geode." I'd be like, "Yes, I want your autograph."
Speaking of, lightsaber training exists on this. As in, you get a
Oh.
dirt cheap lightsaber, cheaper than the kind that you can find out at Walmart. And they shoot a little laser beam, and your goal is to hit the laser beam with the lightsaber. And it gives you plenty of time and all that to do it. And that's the lightsaber training. That they.
That
Yeah.
doesn't sound too bad. I'm pretty sure it'd keep the kids entertained.
Yeah, but it's the sort of thing that you can do at home for free.
Yes. Especially if you're American, just get like a nice little lightsaber, just aim the revolver. Now, if you don't block this, then you can't be a Jedi anymore.
Well, more like just get one of those little laser beams that you can buy from the gas station for $1 or $2 and just. It's basically
Well,
just. It's basically the same way you entertain your cat, but you're doing it for people with a little
see,
lightsaber.
That is true, but I was thinking the fact that now that Roe v. Wade is now going to get overturned, yeah, we're going to need another way to get rid of these little shits. So let's do Jedi training with revolvers.
No, do you think Disney will start charging extra for parents that decide to leave with one more kid than they came in with?
Yeah, well, if in the law, this is where the Skywalkers were conceived. Let's call it the Skywalker charge, or the Skywalker tax.
Yes. On that subject, there's actually another thing that's apparently wrong with the Galactic Starcruiser as well. Apparently, from what I've heard now, is apparently you're supposed to do these little role play events, right? And these tend to happen in the middle of the night. So what'll happen is they will actually simulate like the ship being boarded or something, so you'll actually feel rumble in your room. Now that's a cool idea. Unfortunately, during these events, you're expected to participate, meaning that the doors will fly open
Holy shit.
in the middle of the night. So not only, if you're there to, for example, rest and try to get a night's sleep, you're going to be SOL. But also, let's say, for example, that
You are getting a new brother and sister.
let's say that the parents of a family of 4 decide to roleplay as Anakin and Padme, and all of a sudden the doors fly open because the event started, and little Timmy is scarred for life. Tell me that's not going to happen at some point thanks to this thing.
Dad, what are you doing? I'm LARPing as Mace Windu. Look at my purple lightsaber. Ooh.
Winter's King says, why would anyone want to stay in a hotel like that? It sounds absolutely awful from everything I've heard. Correct. Another thing, by the way, is because this is supposed to be on a Starcruiser, you're not allowed to actually leave unless you want to go to Galaxy's Edge at specific times. So they actually, of course, limit when you can leave by design. And going to Galaxy's Edge, by the way, costs extra.
Wait, hang on. They don't allow you to leave.
Well, yeah.
To what extent do they enforce this?
I do not know, and I don't really want to spend the $6,000 to find out. I don't feel like having to fork over thousands of dollars to be a literal prisoner to Disney.
Tell you what, I reckon if you started a GoFundMe on your channel, right? we could raise enough money, and you better blog that shit.
Also, they take your phones away.
Oh, fuck. Oh, that's
They actually,
gay.
not only do they do that, from what I understand, they actually charge something like $90 or so just to get a photo taken. And you can only get photos taken in specific areas.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah, they're literally taking away your phone just so they can charge you money to take pictures.
So so small cramped rooms, subpar food, take your phones away, and you can only take places in certain. Well, you can't take pictures in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
If that does not, and you are not permitted to leave your room unless escorted by a guide.
And also, the doors might fling open in the middle of the night, and you're forced to partake in some tomfoolery.
True, I'm fairly certain, and this isn't a joke, that is the one-to-one replication of the trips that you can take in North Korea if you go by China.
Well, I guess we know...
Shit you not. Right, I know Vice is bad, like Vice is just fucking shit show of news, but they did a documentary on YouTube and where they went to North Korea, and those were the exact same parameters they had to follow while they were there.
There's other stuff too, like when I mentioned that you spend extra to actually get decent food, they then deliberately apparently place you in a way so that everyone else has to gets to see you eating the better food, as a way to get them to fork up the dough themselves.
Oh wow, they fucking guilt trip you into just, oh, look at all these people, you know, you could be having that if you fork over some extra space credits, wink, because you know they're still in character.
Yeah, trying to think of some of the other stuff I've heard about. Oh, apparently, some of the backup stuff in case certain things aren't ready are kind of cringe too, like space bingo.
What?
Yeah, apparently they get you to play space bingo as a backup in case something's...
Well, it is Florida, and there's a lot of old people in Florida that might be able to sway them.
But $6,000 for space bingo as part of the attraction is kind of...
For $6,000, I want a lap dance off of a woman lapping as a fucking Twi'lek.
For $6,000... I could...
At the least.
For $6,000, you better have an adult actress dressing up as a Twi'lek and doing that lap dance.
They better have a Riley Reid first in line, painted green, as a Twi'lek. Mommy, why is Daddy going into that other room with the Twi'lek? He's about to ruin our marriage, Susan.
See, what else was there on there that I heard about that was pretty cringe? Oh, yes, apparently the events include things like flag football. You know, as in all the guests partake in this, both adults and kids.
Wait, flag football?
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, it's... Okay, so think American football, but everyone's got these little flags, a waist belt with flags on them, and you tackle someone by...
I've looked it up. Holy shit. If that isn't the lamest thing.
Yeah, but also, that's also an accident waiting to happen because you're talking about grown adults and little kids playing this together.
And to be fair, the majority of modern day Star Wars fans are questionable at best.
Yeah, and also, what else? Oh yes, you're not allowed to actually pick if you want to side with the Resistance or the First Order, so if you didn't want to play as the bad guys, well, you're going to be SOL. Imagine if extra credits ended up doing the Galactic Hotel. There you are, joining this LARP experience, and all of a sudden, you're a space Nazi. You didn't ask for this, you didn't choose this, but it's there. And it's no different than playing as the Resistance.
You had no choice. You were forced into it.
And you paid $6,000 for it. the thing where you're supposed to be role playing. The idea behind role playing being you're supposed to play as who you want to play as.
Now, children, you're not allowed to play the First Order because they are fascists, and Disney already took up that many roles. You're gonna have to play the Resistance.
Yes. So I know we've been at it. We've been making fun of this thing for 16 minutes before even getting started on the comic because, yeah, that thing is just god awful. But yes, let's actually now jump into issue number 3 of Halcyon Legacy. So we got Padme, we got Anakin, we got Aj Ventress, and we got the current cast, which are sequel trilogy era characters that are created specifically for this comic, as far as I can tell, including the self-insert Kathleen Kennedy herself.
Is that a Captain Kevin?
Yep.
Alright,
so let's jump into this. The Halcyon, somewhere in the mid-rim, now. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Now. Just... Okay, that's a nitpick, but it's a nitpick that it's... anyways. So I guess I'll voice Captain Kevin here. Do you want to voice the pirate captain?
is that the ginger dude?
Yes.
Well, he's flowing locks, big mustache, he's ginger, so he's going to be Scottish.
Yep.
Okay, go on.
Engines at full thrust. Keep on this heading, but take evasive action now. They're about to open...
Fire!
Chum, chum, chum. Oh yeah, they're also sailing into a solar storm, which means they're flying right by a star to escape the pirates. Anyways. I guess I can voice the other guy beside the captain there, so,
I will slag the Halcyon down to the last rivet for this.
That is most impressive piloting I've ever seen. That Captain Kevin seems to be as good as they say.
If there are no further unwelcome observations, take us on a course around the edge of the storm.
Yes, sir, Captain Crimson Jack.
They will be forced to emerge sometime. Unless that is...
Ow.
they don't make it out of that storm.
Rumble. The shields are holding for now. Yeah, you want to voice this other character?
Yes. Yes, but for how long?
Long enough for you to fill me in about the resistance spy you brought on board.
Wait, why are they discussing that now?
Because, to be fair, the guy... this all started because they brought a spy on and everything's been backstory up to this point about the ship itself, so we are just now able to have a brief break, I guess.
But they're like coursing around the edge of a star, and it's like, we could possibly die at this point, but please give me some exposition.
Yeah.
Oh, so... yeah.
It's still not good writing, but yeah.
Yeah. How? How did you know?
Let's just say I have some experience in the matter.
I wouldn't have allowed them on board if it wasn't important. The First Order is on the cusp of plunging the galaxy into terror and bloodshed that hasn't been seen since the Empire fell 30 years ago.
I think that's still your character there.
Oh yeah, sorry, an ad popped up.
Ah, okay.
And it's up to even the most ordinary citizen to stand up and fight back.
I hope this gives you a story to tell, future guests. D309. Want to voice the droid here?
Presuming, of course, the Halcyon survives its current predicament. Radiation from a solar storm this volatile could...
That is not the kind of tone that I like you to be taking in front of my granddaughter.
Oh dear, I apologize for any unintended panic. I merely...
Perhaps another story, something a bit more hopeful.
Demina, can I interest you in another story to pass the time?
Oh, yes, but something with action and romance and Jedi.
Ah, I know just the one. And I think you, Master Comrin, may find this one particularly memorable.
Let me tell you about the time we had to change the bed sheets after Padme and Anakin came over.
You see, the one thing about Jedi deciding to fuck on a bed is that the Force lingers with the liquid, so the bed sheet started floating at one point.
Alright, let's go ahead and continue.
Is it still me?
Yep.
Not that all the memories were pleasant back when the Hutts owned the Halcyon, but at least it was safe from the clone wars that raged across the galaxy. Relatively safe.
Then.
But, sir, we have fresh food in the crown of the Corellia dining room. Oh, the Halcyon sure has become a tad more crowded than years past.
Alright, You're blocking my way!
Oof, apologies, Senator.
Yep, that's Padme, so do you want to voice Padme, or do I voice Padme?
I'll go for it.
Okay.
Careful, or you'll be squashed by a passing Hutt. Oh, thank you for the assistance.
What are you doing, Padme? We're supposed to be undercover. The quickest way to stand out on a Hutt ship is by being polite.
Oh, Anakin, aren't we fighting for a republic that's worth fighting for? Much obliged. There hasn't been much politeness to go around on the Halcyon since the Hutts brought the ship.
Yes, well, I'm sure you have someplace else to be.
Hang on, is Anakin pulling a pog face?
A little bit.
Because Anakin champ.
Also, look at the Chad face he gets in the next panel. Do 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 do.
You see, Darth Maul, you're a beta cook. I'm on that Jedi grind, sir.
Yep. Senator Zas Travak sure seemed to be in a hurry. It seems there may be something to the Jedi Council's suspicion about a potential defection.
If Trivak were to sway Lennox to align with the Separatists, it would cut off Republic supply routes. That does seem like an awful lot of hurrying just to get to his cabin.
Our spies have spotted Separatist agents at the port where the Halcyon arrives tomorrow. That's where he'll try to make a rendezvous. And Obi-Wan has already staked out with a unit of clone troopers, so... That means we have a little bit of time to enjoy the cruise.
Honey, we're supposed to be discreet.
What better disguise than a couple in love on a romantic getaway? Don't worry, I'll go easy on you.
Yes, Ace, talk sweetly to me. I'm your Padme. Whisper soft things into her ear.
I'll be Bach,
Oh.
you can be Beethoven, and tonight we'll make sweet music under the moonlight.
Oh, will you now?
Thunk! That's against the rules. After you, my love.
So much for Jedi being honorable. Double disqualification.
What would you like to do next?
The Huts sure do love the menageries.
This one looks a little friendlier than the Rancor they have chained up. Hey there, little piggy.
Oh. Can we try something less intense? It's beautiful, isn't it? Nothing but peace and quiet in the climate simulator.
If peace and quiet are your cup of batubuka.
Batabuka. Can we just take a moment to have a moment? We have given up so much for the cause. I have dedicated my life to the Republic, and you have given yours to the Jedi. And I understand that we have to keep our marriage secret. But once in a while...
All right. You've convinced me. We can enjoy the moment. There's no good way the Senator can get off the ship right now. Beep, beep.
I think this is a Saji.
Alright, you want to voice that character, or...?
Is that the proximity alarm I hear?
It was nothing. A glitch.
Okay. Carry on. Annie, what's wrong?
I sense a familiar presence, but it can't... No!
What's wrong, Anakin?
Those Separatist agents at the port were just a ruse. The extraction is happening now. Shoo.
Are you sure? The door is still sealed.
Not for long.
We're supposed to be undercover.
I think we're past that point now.
Looks like he had some help making his escape. Those look like lightsaber burns on the edges of that hole.
Not so rough. Do I have to remind you of how important I am to Count Dooku?
No reminder is necessary. As it is the only reason I haven't killed you to silence your prattling. So keep moving.
Yup.
Ah, and here I was beginning to think this mission was going to be easy. At least it's not going to be boring.
Don't let them take me back. You've picked the wrong side, Senator, but I could say the same thing about you. Asajj Ventress.
You always did talk too much Jedi.
Vroom.
Not much of a challenge without Kenobi at your side, boy.
And you said I talk too much? Shrek.
Whoa, a real-life Jedi. I wish I could be strong like him.
Shrek. Vroom. Crackle.
I knew
knew
him back
yeah.
when he was a boy. About your age. The good senator is coming with me, Skywalker.
You'll have to strike me down to get him off the Halcyon.
I accept your terms. See, if it wasn't his strength that made him into the great Jedi he is today, it was his desire to help others. Maybe you have the potential to be just as powerful a force. For good.
Yes, his desire to help others.
Hmm.
Readies his lightsaber against the younglings. This is where the fun begins.
Well, he helped correct their eyesight with his laser to the head.
So let's go ahead and read some of the comments because they have been piling up here a little bit. Star Wars Hotel, number one. Okay. Oh, Star Wars Hotel. I remember I won a lap dance from the anime girl GF in my profile pic. Okay. Winners King says football, but safe and lame. Also, yep. The Empire did nothing wrong, and the New Order wanted to clean the galaxy. Okay. Alfaria says lazy eye and all. M16A1 says that blue woman is doing the pog face. Alfaria says nothing is funnier than an Englishman doing a Scottish impression. Maybe a Scot doing an Scott English accent.
Winners King told him off for that cheeky bastard.
Winners King says, wait, is she a chiss? This is an insult to all chiss. How could Disney ever compare them to Kathleen, the franchise killer? M16A1 says, or a southern dude along doing a Russian accent. Nathan says, shush, my heritage is Scottish. Fight me. Yep, that sounds like Scottish heritage to me. M16A1 says, my heritage is people with small heads. Oh no! I don't know that, but I choose to believe it. Okay. Alfaria says, I would fight you if Rashid over there wasn't already rushing you with a knife. Winter's King says, let's just say I have experience makes her sound like a lady of the night. Oh. M16 says, Ace, dear God, Alfaris, my Jew. Dude, I didn't need to hear that. I'm not sure what we're referring to, but okay.
I think it might have been the part where it was like, yes, Ace, whisper to me sweet nothings in my ear. Talk to me gently.
Alfaris says, can I get neuralized? Maybe. Winter's King says, I want it to be canon that all Disney comics are actually bad fiction novels in the Star Wars universe. Well, like they're all basically Walmart romance novels. Bro, those romance novels at Walmart are always like $2. Alfaria says, I wonder if Anakin dialogue here will be worse than the prequels. Winter's King says, oh god, Anakin and Padme dialogue is so very bad. They've been reduced to Padme, don't do a stupid, and oh, Anakin, we need to be nice. M16 says, a republic worth fighting for? Nah, get a girl who's worth fighting for. I mean... Nathan, what are your thoughts on Padme?
In this comic or overall?
Overall, we'll say.
I think the character idea of the Chosen One constantly conflicting with Jedi ideals was a good plot point.
Mm-hmm.
But how it was executed, it was piss poor. Like, both characters came off as cardboard. They were just two-dimensional.
Yeah. Still better than the sequels where Rey comes off as one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Anyways. M16 says floating bed sheets. Floating bed sheets. Winter's King says lol, because beating each other with sticks is so romantic. I guess the Hutts have weird tastes. Yeah, a little bit of a weird taste. Then again, it's not unheard of for couples to play sports against each other and what have you, so fair enough. Winter's King says weird. M16 says, damn, didn't know this was a gay comedy. This is the gayest shit I've ever heard, not gonna lie. Winter's King says, is the droid specifically programmed for gossip or what? If droids could just spill all kinds of secrets like this, imagine all sorts of secrets would come out. Yeah. Alfaria says, you were important enough to be thrown in the trash, Lamel. Winter's King says, since you're prattling, almost like someone should do that droid. Oof. M16 says, you picked the wrong side, Senator. Me when I hear about U.S. senators. I mean, you're not wrong at that. Winter's King says...
M16 being spicy today.
Yeah. Winter's King says, seriously, why is Padme randomly talking about good every 2 seconds? Or says, fuck, I missed half an hour. Was it horrible?
Was it implies we finished? It still is.
I will say this, it's at least not quite as god-awful as the previous 2 issues, but it's still not good.
Yeah.
Seed says, hello. Has it been standard, weird, or okay so far? It's in the weird territory a little bit, I think, but not as bad as typical. M16 says, girls, number one's... Oh, yeah. Urus Sapphire. Urus says, fuck yeah. Nathan says, Alfaris just jealous Ace invites me more. Siege is laughing. Urus says, you're a troll master, Nathan. Alfaris says, you can't do this to me. You know how much I sacrifice. M16 says, speaking of weird taste, I want a big thigh. M16 girl just... Oh dear. Alfaris says that was about Ventress. Okay. Alright, now we can finally go ahead and continue.
You okay though? Do you need to take a breath?
Yeah, I'm fine. Everybody drop your weapons. You're all under arrest.
Ship security. We can't allow this to degenerate into a diplomatic incident. What's your name?
Sure.
Hold on, Shaw. Your vacation is about to get a little more exciting.
More exciting? Swish. Shoot them! Ah! Seriously? Shooting a senator of the Republic?
Casually.
What the... Okay, granted they're supposed to be undercover, but still... This shit is just... No! No!
I like the fact that Padme all this time had a goddamn rope dart up her sleeve. And now she's rappelling up the ceiling.
Da 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 da.
Harrison Ford may not be here, but that won't stop me.
Yeah. Ugh.
Whoa.
Let me try that again. Ugh. Oof! Surrender now, and I won't have to strike you down.
Your bluster is not very Jedi-like. Maybe there's hope for you yet. And in the words of Count Dankula, in the business we call this foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
You better hope that.
Stop! What is the meaning of this outrage?
Holy shit, that stop actually sounded like the NPC from Oblivion. Like, that was near identical.
Stop! You violated the law. Your stolen
so good.
Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
That's actually really good.
If any of them... Oh, yeah, I guess.
Okay.
What is the meaning of this outrage? If any of them move, shoot them all.
With pleasure.
Now what am I to do with all of you? The Halcyon belongs to the Huts, and we agreed not to be involved in your petty squabbles. Bring your war aboard our ship and we will reconsider our treaty.
If the Huts want to throw around threats...
Please, Anakin, leave the diplomacy to me. Before you start a second war. Oh, my Lord Hutt. We meant no offense. We are simply on a mission. To bring a traitor to justice.
Don't let them take me, Lord Hutt. I'm sure the Separatist Alliance will make it worth your while. Click.
Of course, we know the Republic can count on the cooperation of the Hutts. Because it would be a shame for access to key trade routes through the Mid-Rim to be pulled, if we were to reconsider our treaty.
That would be a shame.
Don't listen to her. I have information on both the Republic and the Separatists that can be invaluable to you. I can be of tremendous use to the Hutts. I have...
I thought he was about to say I've got information that'll lead to Hillary
Yes!
Clinton's arrest.
Yes!
I'll get information that'll lead to Senator Palpatine's arrest.
Uh-huh.
Click. Then Senator Trivak. I guess you're no more used to me. Shoom.
Crash.
I'll leave you to your diplomacy.
Whoosh. Help me!
I've got you.
I'll seal off the breach.
You have our gratitude. And as a gesture of our appreciation, a gift of half price off on one meal.
I was so scared. I wish I could be brave like you.
Oh, but it's okay to feel scared. As long as you don't let it overcome you. And there may be a time, or there may be a cause that inspires you to be braver than you ever thought possible.
Were you voicing that girl or was I?
That was you. I voiced the robot.
Senator Amidala sounds quite brave.
The Hutts, perhaps appreciative, let Senator Amidala and her Jedi bodyguard off the ship without further incident. Though, if memory serves, the discount on the buffet was rescinded when cooler heads prevailed.
This comic is red-pilling me on the Hutt cartel even more.
The Hutts control the media.
I could make jokes here, but I'm going to avoid doing that. And they might get me demonetized on this particular stream.
It's
Why are
the
we
theme of the Sith.
Why are we
The
sending
theme
all
of the Sith.
Why are we sending
Oh, go
all
on.
this money to Nalhada? All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue.
It's the theme of the Sith. Da 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 da. The theme of the Huts. Da 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 da.
Oh God. Uh, let's go ahead and continue.
Yes, it is.
She was brave because she had to be, an example to all of us. D309, I have one last favor to ask. Tell cruise director Mock that I thank her for her hospitality, but I will be disembarking from the Halcyon early. Grandfather, what are you saying? I'm afraid this isn't going to be the trip I intended for you. The Halcyon will be doomed, whether from this storm or the pirates that lay in wait outside of it. But I'm going to do something about it. To be continued.
I mean,
So he's the
hopefully
spy,
it
probably.
won't be, but probably.
And yes, it is to be continued. This time we got Lando.
Oh, look, Lando and the actual interesting pirate captain from the Clone Wars series.
Mm-hmm. Do you think this will continue? Wasn't Lando into robots or something as part of the Solo canon?
Yes, he was. That was our first, basically, our prequel version of Lando. I think Donald Glover played him.
So we're basically going to probably end up with Lando and a robot making cyborgs in the next issue.
Probably.
Lovely. Okay. So yeah. I will say that, so I think that is pretty much the end of the issue. Yes, it is. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, between the manga Star Wars that we read and the fucking bake sale special. So the bake sale special being a 0 and the manga being a 10. This was about a 4.
Okay, so
It was okay, but there was nothing special about it. It was just cardboard dialogue, okay illustrations, nothing outstanding.
yeah, I think the artwork, especially on Anakin turning him into an absolute Chad, is probably the best
Yeah.
on this thing. Dude, Anakin is fucking ripped. When did they decide to turn him into Goku? To be fair, I guess he gets more powerful the angrier he gets, so...
Yeah, he kind of displayed that when with the whole Jedi Temple thing.
Yep. M16 says, why would you want to smash a robot, da fug? Good question. I'm reminded of that one character from Fallout New Vegas. Namely Fisto. I see no one here's... do you remember Fisto from Fallout New Vegas?
I've never played a Fallout game in my life.
Okay, so there is a business of ill repute that I will say, and one of the quests is, that you can take for that is get some people to talk some people into working at the business of ill repute. And one of the characters is a robot, and you find the robot, you reprogram it, and it's the new name for it is Fisto. You can imagine why.
Yeah.
And yes, you can, do things with the robot.
Oh no. Oh no.
Fortunately,
What kind of things would you care to explain?
well, I believe one of the dialogue options after it is, and I quote, "I can't feel my legs."
Okay, that's pretty much on the nose.
When you finally get the robot back, you can then basically use your bartering skill to explain that because this is a very rare robot that is completely operational. And by the way, the guy that runs the business of ill repute has a thing for robots. So you basically use your bartering skill to talk to him, increasing your fee for finding the robot.
Hang on, is there an actual term for that? There must be.
I've heard it. I mean, I know internet historian at one point said something about robosexual or something like that.
I'm about to look up the term and forever curse my browsing history. Yes, okay, it literally is, yeah. So what is the sexual attraction to machines called? It's called mechanophilia. There's your interesting fact for the day. Mechanophilia. Sexual attraction to machines and robots.
I didn't realize they had to come up with an entire brand new term to describe people that are attracted to Brie Larson, but okay.
Ooh. Shade.
It's definitely a thing, says Winter's King. Yeah, I've heard stories on 4chan about other cursed things as well. I think it was one dude that was being made fun of because he had a thing for kitchen floor tiles.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Define a thing as in he had a nice sort of attraction towards them, as in he really likes them. Or are we talking he constantly has to clean the kitchen floor type of attraction?
To the point the dude had apparently a quote-unquote homework folder with nothing but kitchen tiles.
Of all the things to get your rocks off to. God, why is the mayonnaise all over the floor? I dropped the jar.
But yeah, that was a thing that apparently. Yeah. Apparently, it's one of those things that 4chan was having a good laugh at from the time. But yeah. I mean, okay. But anyways, that we are getting on a tangent there. But ultimately, thoughts on this? I personally don't think this is as bad as most things that I've read recently from Disney Star Wars. I don't even think this particular issue is bad as the previous two issues. So I guess
at least there was a bit of action.
Well, the previous two had action as well, but the previous two were also cringe. A lot more cringe. Yeah, cringe. Like the High Republic one, you had the Nile trying to attack the Starcruiser, and then they throw chemical weapons in when they're supposed to try to capture hostages alive. So, throwing chemical weapons in to do that, just think about that.
That tends to be counterproductive.
Yeah, and then when the Jedi shows up, a Jedi Master, they basically thank little of her, saying, and I quote, "It's just an old lady," even though she's standing there with the lightsaber lit.
Okay.
And so, yes, it goes about as well as you might expect. So, needless to say, issue 1 was cringe. Issue 2 was the one where they had the solar storm that was approaching them, and no one, absolutely no one, thought to maybe, I don't know, sail away from the solar storm. Just a thought. But,
might have been a good idea.
Yeah. So, all that said... Oh, yes, and also the pirate ship. In issue 2, we found out the pirate ship has sails. As in ship sails.
What? Why?
Now, solar sails do technically exist in Star Wars, but there's a reason why they're not on combat vessels. There's several reasons why. For a start, the sails have to be several times the size of the ship, and these, by the way, are not. They're just like Caravel or ship or ship of the line style sails.
Like, you could immediately put a laser bolt through that bitch, and it immediately tears it all down.
Yeah, and that's the other reason why solar sails are not used very often in Star Wars, especially not on combat ships. The only time you'll actually see them used is on, spy ships. Like, Count Dooku used one to escape Geonosis. And the reason they used it is so he could, at the end of it, he used a solar sail ship to escape Geonosis.
Although, I find it a bit weird that it was supposed to be a spy ship, even though the solar sails were, like, fucking huge. Like, you could easily look outside the cockpit of your spaceship and just see a gigantic floating orange disc.
Yes, however, there is one advantage to that, and that's because they don't leave a fuel trail. So,
okay.
So they can't really be traced. So that's the big advantage of them. So yeah. Rose says, you'd be surprised what you can hide when you are useful enough. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and call it. So yeah, is the comic worth reading? Not really. This actually manages to be into the more boring side, I guess, of it. Meaning that it's not good enough to actually be interesting and not bad enough to be interesting either. Whereas the previous two were bad enough to be legitimately interesting. We'll see, however, where they take Lando in the next issue. And then after that, we'll have issue 5, which is set in the sequel trilogy. So,
why the hell are they making this ship so important in the lore? I don't get it.
Because Disney wants money.
Okay, right, yeah. I should have saw that comment. I do get why, but it's just... why? What's the point? Because this attraction's not going to be around forever. And then, once it's gone, everyone's going to be like, well, what the fuck was the point of that?
This is going to be a case where Disney is... I don't actually think Disney is planning to do that much more at this point. They're still going to do more High Republic, but the way this is going, I think Disney is basically extra short-sighted because they keep injecting wokeness and all that into all this stuff. Because let's be honest, if I remember correctly, they're basically getting monetary incentives from certain companies to do so, which that's actually a bigger thing. So apparently you have investment companies of some sort that are just outright trying to get everyone to go woke by just throwing money as a subsidy for being woke.
Yes.
Now, eventually, that is going to cause the investment company to simply collapse because, let's be honest, these are bad investments. These bad investments are going to eventually add up and come back to haunt these people. I mean, just look at Twitter, how it got bought out by Elon Musk. And part of that...
and they all started seething.
Yes, and you better believe... So eventually, the investment companies are just going to collapse and things will have to revert back. Aurora says, did Disney plan anything at all? Because they just fucked royally more than anything. I'm convinced... Well, again, when you're hiring based around wokeness, and when your hiring practices are based around wokeness, and the ideas that have to be in your art are based around wokeness, that ends up taking priority over producing quality products, then yes, that is obviously going to make everything worse.
Plus, also, you can kind of tell when some things are forced.
Yes.
Like, remember the gay kiss at the end of The Rise of Skywalker? Like, that showed up for 3 seconds. We had no idea who those characters were. It just showed it, and then it cut away.
I was thinking Legend of Korra, but yeah. Anyways, so... but yeah, you're on the money there as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is... yeah. like I said, is this good? No. It is, in fact, I'd say this is in the territory of boring bad. It's not good, so good enough to be interesting, and it's not really bad enough to be interesting either. So, weirdly, we're at the... I would say that while we are, in terms of quality, at the high point right now of this particular comic book series, in terms of actual entertainment, we're at the low point. So anyways, Windows King says, investment firms have made what they call social environmental responsibility scores, which is a social credit score for companies. Other things like retirement funds often invest based on that rating. M16 says, don't remind me of Korra. I'm the Avatar. You gotta deal with it. Okay. Anyway, so yeah. So I think, like I said, now's a good time to go ahead and call it. We've been at it for about an hour, which is short for one of these comics, but that's because there hasn't been that much to actually complain about in this particular issue, which I am pleasantly surprised by, I suppose. But yeah, is there anything you have more to add, Nathan?
To be honest, not really. I mean, this comic doesn't have the appeal that, like the film The Room does. Like you said before, it's that bad you laugh at it.
Yeah.
It feels like a chore to read. I mean, the only reason reading it with you in this was enjoyable whatsoever were the jokes we made out of it, as well as chat.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, it wasn't grabbing. There was no like secret mystery. It was just Anakin and Padme go on this cruise. Oh look, they're having a bit of fun together. But oh look, it's been revealed that Asajj, like, the fact that beforehand, before the story even starts, it tells you Asajj Ventress is in this comic. Wouldn't it have been great if it didn't tell you Asajj Ventress was in this? And then when she took off the robe, everyone who was reading would be like, holy shit, it's Ventress.
Yep.
We haven't seen her quite a lot. They immediately spoil one of the most interesting characters that have actually been developed since the original 3 films.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it just tells you immediately she's in it. So it's like, oh, wonder who this chick with the really pale skin and hooded robe on this enemy ship's going to be. Wouldn't happen to be Palpatine that's gender bent himself, would it?
M16 says, now I'm going to go watch ER. ER is love, ER is life. Winter's King says, Padme in this issue reminds me of Katara preaching and whining about peace and goodness.
Yeah, my mother used to do that. My mother used to listen to music. My mother used to, like, she always go on about a mother. My mother used to do that.
At least Katara could be... What? You know what? Never mind. Anyways, but yeah, I agree. I think that I think Nathan is pretty much on the money on this as well. So yeah, the only thing I think that actually kind of worked was the joke about the Hutts being Hutts.
Yeah. Did you know the Hutts have been kicked out of 109 star systems?
Oh God, no! Oh no! Oh dear. All right, but
what a way to end it.
Apparently so, but yeah. I miss the days when the Hutts were just stand-ins for feminists.
I must have missed that chapter.
Oh yeah, apparently feminists were really upset about the Return of the Jedi, about how they depicted Leia, especially when she strangled one of them.
Oh, okay. Forgot about that one. I'm pretty sure I saw a photoshopped image of, like, somebody put, Big Red, that famous one.
Oh yes.
They photoshopped her onto Jabba. And then behind was like Milo Yiannopoulos on Leia's body.
Yes. All right. Uro is laughing at you, Nathan. M16 says oy vey. Oros is laughing. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and finally head off of this. Yeah, in any case, this has been Ace.
And this has been Nathan X2000. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you for being on board once again, and we hope to both see you again soon.